this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, the black men in Louisiana have something to say. And what they are saying is something that should have been said a long time ago. Now, we heard Gary Chambers Jr. speaking to the Louisiana legislature, and his speech went viral. Well, another black man in Louisiana has spoken to the legislature. He's not getting drunk. He's not getting high. He's not getting babies. He's not, I bite my tongue, he's not killing another black man, and he's not even driving crazy in the streets. He's speaking truth to power to the people who need to hear it. The people in the Louisiana legislature who are trying to silence black people with this redistricting, taking away black legislators from Louisiana. So let's listen to him.
All Americans, watch this.
MAGA party is the last breath of the Confederacy, and I'll be happy to see millennials and Gen Z bury y'all. There will be no more of your party. The midterms gonna come, y'all gonna get wiped out, and I'ma love every second of it. Because y'all loved every second of the suffering that he caused to everybody in this country. And worldwide, we starve in Cuba, we bomb Nigeria, we holding Zimbabwe and Zambia hostage for their minerals. We don't want to give them aid support. The pro-lifers that say all life is special, y'all letting kids die of AIDS. What part of your Bible say that? Point out the scripture. I think everybody would love to see it. We would love to see y'all in the midterms.
Now, this black man has hit the nail on the head. The Confederacy, because that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the Confederacy. If America had handled them right when they lost the Civil War, not made that compromise in 1877, this country would be way ahead of where it is now. They allowed the South to come back and win the war after they had lost it. They re-enslaved black people. They took power back in the Confederacy, although they have never gotten the money back economically. They tried with the Jim Crow, but it didn't work because at the end of the day, those black people were free, but they were trying to recreate slavery. They allowed the South to bring slavery back for almost another 100 years after they had lost the war. And it was all about being white. And that's when white supremacy really took hold in this country. Instead of the United States of America ruling this country like they had won, they let being white overrule everything, and we have been living with the consequences. And everybody who comes here thinking that they are going to be a part of that are wrong. They come here and think, well, if I side with the white people and if I distance myself from the black people, then I will be in. They're not in. They are not in. And now you know how they're being dealt with their birth rates. The lowest birth rates are among white Americans, the GOP's core base. White Americans have the lowest fertility rate of any major group. Black, Hispanic, and Asian Americans have higher fertility rates. This means the fastest shrinking population is the one Republicans rely on the most. That's the demographics of it. That's how they're going to be dealt with. Now, Jesus is going to come in the fullness of time according to Scripture. But for the moment, the Lord is going to deal with them through their birth rates. They're not even having enough children to replace the white people that are dying. Now, when I was young, what they used to say in church, the Lord works in mysterious ways, his wonders to perform. Well, low birth rates plus low immigration, because they are pushing hard for low immigration, that equals shrinking GOP-leaning states. Many Republican-leaning states, Mississippi, my home state of Alabama, West Virginia, and the Dakotas, already have aging populations, low birth rates. If immigration stays low, which it probably will, this eventually means fewer House seats, fewer electoral college votes, because that's what House seats are, and less national influence. Population equals political power. So you see, these Republicans are just playing for the immediate future. They're playing for themselves, because if things stay the way they are, they aren't going to have the power that they have now. And even now, they're having to dilute the black vote in order to stay in power. Now, you know, that's cheating to win. You can frame it any way you want to, but that's cheating to win. So the Republicans see the handwriting on the wall, and so they're doing everything they can to prolong their power, because every major study shows Gen Z, the young people, Gen Zers lean more Democratic, millennials lean more Democratic, younger voters of color lean strongly Democratic. If the birth rates stay low, the pipeline of future conservative voters shrinks. That's why some conservative politicians have started talking about pro-family, pro-fertility policies, and all of that. J.D. Vance's wife, I guess, is supposed to be the poster girl for birth fertility. I think somehow they are going to have another child. So she wanted out of that marriage, according to some people, but she made a deal with the devil, and the devil won, as he always does. And here's another thing: economic consequences hit conservative states hardest, because the conservative states, the red states, are the poorest states. So they are just playing the hand now that they've been dealt. They have low birth rates, they have conservative ideas, and they have a country that's younger than they are, that's younger than their future voters. And so they're doing now what they can to try to solidify what they can. They keep talking about a civil war, a civil war, a civil war. What they need to remember is that they lost the last time, but the country, because of white supremacy, allowed them to win. The next time they might not be so lucky. Immigration is the only way for the Republicans to maintain any kind of population, and they oppose that. Their fertility rate is 1.6 below replacement, which means that they are not having enough children. With immigration, their population is even going to shrink. But immigration does not assure them that they are going to be higher numbers. So I'll end with this. Low birth rates hurt Republicans because their strongest voter base is shrinking, younger voters lean Democratic, and without immigration, the population and political power of red states declines. And that's the bottom line. So this young man, back to him again, this young man who was talking to the Republicans was speaking a truth, and they would do well to listen to him. We are still fighting the Confederacy. And the next time they decide that they're going to take up arms against America, they might lose again. In fact, they are probably going to lose, and it's going to be worse than it was the first time. Because remember, immigrants from Germany and everywhere else was fighting, and the slaves were fighting too, along with the white people from the North. So that's what they got to look forward to. So maybe the next time they lose a war, they won't be treated like they won. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening, and have a good day.